Aloha and welcome in Seahawks! Seahawks! Yes, Seahawks. What a game Thursday night. And like I told you guys from the beginning of the season, knock on wood, we've got Denver and we've got the Seahawks. And a $10 investment could be a 5-figure return. We will share that ticket with you again towards the end. We have a lot of other tickets too. Our look aheads, again, we had the Rams. We had, because of Stafford's back, but they were one of the most balanced and well put together teams. And with McVay, you never count them out. I'll say this about Thursday night. Whether you're a fan of the Seahawks, whether you're a fan of the Rams, and I hear a lot about that backwards lateral 2-point conversion that the referee... Look, that's one of the first time the referees ever took the side of the Seahawks, I'll tell you that. But it was the right call. I don't hear the whistle that some people are claiming. If that were the case, then, again, the referees got it wrong if the whistle did blow. But irregardless, like some experts will tell you, that's still just a 2-point, and at that point of the game, there were still 7 minutes. Rams then went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. So again, they could have done a lot of things to win that game and so forth. So bottom line, today we are not doing a quote of the day because we want to dive right in, because I forgot to tell you guys on the middle of the week wrap up of 15 and look ahead for 16. Or not forgot to tell you guys, but I forgot to include some tickets. So last week we cashed quite a few tickets. Again, with the power teams, we had Jaguars, Seahawks, 40. I'm talking about week 15. Jaguars over the Jets, Seahawks over the Colts, barely. But still, we took them at the money line. Niners over the Titans. All of our power favorites won with the spread except for the Seahawks. But again, we're trying to show you guys a way to beat or maximize your smallest bet for the biggest return. And you'll notice that these are all $5 or $10 bets, coffee or lunch money. You'll see another ticket: Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Niners. And then again, with the first score, we got a Nico Collins first score, we nailed it. We got a DeAndre Swift first score, we nailed it. We got a Dallas Goedert for the Eagles Raiders game. Then that for $5, there was almost $88, or it was $88. Again, though, for $5. So if you would have had $50, $880. But again, what it entails is Texans, Jags, Seahawks, and Niners. Those, in our view, and we were right, were couldn't lose teams. They were powerhouse. Texans at home, they were laying double digits, and they covered, but they were not going to lose that game. Jaguars against the Jets, maybe they wouldn't cover, which they did, but they were not going to lose. Seahawks and the Colts got a little tight because they were looking ahead, and I explained it in the week wrap-up. I didn't think of it at the time, but it made so much sense that the Seahawks played the most vanilla, basic offense. That's why Indianapolis defense looked like they were shutting down the Seahawks, and the Seahawks looks like they couldn't move the ball. But you notice in the second half, when they really needed it, boom to Shaheed, boom to Njigba, and they got the job done. But they got a little too, again, I'll just touch on it, they got a little too arrogant, they got a little too cocky in that they assumed they could beat Indianapolis go easily, and especially with our defense. But they didn't want to tip their hand in any way, shape, or form to the Rams, to Sean McVay. He is one of the best coaches. Again, I'll say it right here, right now. If they played again neutral and nobody, even line, I would bet the Rams. The Rams are the more better, well-rounded team. But there's something to be said about the human spirit and the Seahawks. And again, it's one of those things that this is just everything's coming together. And honestly, I don't know after this game it's so close. Seahawks better special teams. Seahawks edge to the defense. Rams edge obviously to the quarterback because of his knowledge, but he's immobile, so he's got to make those throws, which he does. And at full strength, you've got Puka and you've got Devontae Adams, hard to cover. So edge offense, Rams edge quarterback. Coaching, you give scoring edge to Sean McVay, but defensive edge to Mike McDonald. It was a battle. It was a tooth and nail. And again, I think if they played 10 times, it would be 6 one way, 4 the other. We'll see as it plays out at the end of the year. Anyway, going into this week, we are going to we have 5 big plays for you, but we also have another one of these bet $5 power parlays in where we don't think these teams can lose. They may not cover, but they will not lose. Now again, this is gambling, guys. This is the NFL. Anything is possible. But our power ratings and our models and all of our data shows that the teams I'm about to give you, they're over a 90% to win. So forget the spread. All you need is for them to win outright, and then we're rolling. And then I'm going to show you a couple of examples. And this may get complicated for some of you, but again, just stay with me and follow through and use common sense and think it through and follow what I'm showing you, and we're sure you'll get it. Oh, one other thing too, besides the tickets I'm going to show you that we cashed last week with Drake May first score, Dallas Goedert first score, DeAndre Swift first score, Nico Collins first score, and all these $5 and $10 parlays cashed on average of about over 100. I'll show you like the Drake May one, for example, with the 4 power teams in Drake May. $5 got you $184 back. So $50 would have got you $1,800. So we're all different. I can afford $5 because my wife, we work for a living. But that being said, if you're blessed enough to have a little bit of a purse and a little bit of a better starting point, or you're betting your little what you can afford to lose, $50. But again, now understand this. This is where people get a little bit lost. When you approach a game, so let's say right now, let's take this week the first game. Let's take the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins, which I love as first scores because Washington's so depleted, and Philly is kind of they do the same thing over and over again, kind of. So I really like it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the 4, 5, or 6 most likely scenarios from each team. So let's go with the max. Let's say you do 6 on Philly at $5 a piece. That's 30. 6 on Washington, $5 a piece. That's 30. You're in for $60. And even if one of the low end guys are the ones that you hit, you'll get your investment back in a little bit of sugar. So I would say, for instance, me personally, the Washington side, Mariota can run. And I checked, he's like plus over 2,000. So that's a good one. And then I would absolutely take Deebo Samuel and Scary Terry McLaurin. So that's 3. I would take both their running backs, or at the very least, you want to take. I can't think of his name right now. Let me look it up right now for you guys as we're talking here. The first score for Chris Rodriguez. And so Chris Rodriguez, right, is plus 1,100 as a running back, and Ja'Cory Croskett-Merritt is plus 1,900. So this is a juicy one. So I take Rodriguez, McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Marcus Mariota, and Ja'Cory Croskett-Merritt. And then, in case there's like a defensive score or anything, take the Washington defense as a 6 at plus 5,000. That's unbelievable. Okay? And then on the Philly side, it would suck if these two guys are one of the first two guys to score, but you got to take Saquon, you got to take Jalen. They're only 500 and 600. But then you take A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and then that's 5, and then Jahan Dotson. And I actually, in this one case, even though it's 6, I would add a 7th, which is the Philly defense, because the Philly defense is one of the scoring type defenses, and so you have to factor them in, because they do score, and on special teams and whatnot. So, and again, at plus 4,500, you're covered. Now, what we're doing this week, we already showed you how to do it last week with 1. So if you're just looking to make some money, do that. Take your power 3 or power 4. Again, our power 4, we'll give it to you in a second. But if you want, you can leave Houston off, because Houston is the biggest negative at what is it? Houston is like minus 1,200, I believe. Let me double check here. Yes, they're minus 1,200. So, but with 4 of them, you're adding one more thing, and the math becomes positive in your favor, even with a negative 1,200, because it's a 4th team that you need to come through. But I would look at it as, again, Houston's not going to lose, but I personally, if you're more comfortable with it, here's the 4 teams: Detroit, San Francisco, Houston Texans, and Buffalo Bills. Those 4 will not lose, or by our models are 90+%. Each one of them are 90 or higher percent to win the game, but they may not cover. Now, you can get really jiggy, and if you think they can cover and you want to do it with the point spread, this pays out even more. But here's where it gets easy again for you. 4 teams, money line. Those 4 teams, 90+ percentile to win. And then instead of 1 first score, you're going to get clever and you're going to add 2 first scores. So again, this gets complicated and it gets expensive in the sense that, and we're going to show you a couple of examples, but the 2 examples I'm going to show you is Buffalo, Detroit, Houston, and San Fran, and 2 low but high probability. So from the Green Bay Packers game with the Chicago Bears, let's say DeAndre Swift, running back, that's about as low as it gets, plus 650 to score first. And then A.J. Brown is only plus 600 from the Philly game. I did this purposely to show you they're 2 of the lowest odds for first scorers you can get. But even with just those 2 guys, $5 gets you almost 600. It gets you 578. So it's over 100 to 1. So when you mix and match, and you're doing not 1 but 2, and doing the various mixes and matches, you're probably going to be into the 2 scores, possible combinations from a couple of games that you want to pick from. And you don't have to pick all the different games. Like, we like the Green Bay Packers Chicago, we think is very streamlined. We definitely like the Washington Philly game because it's very streamlined. There's only so many ways that they can score. Washington and or Philly generally scores. That's why we like it. And then the Green Bay and Chicago game. Green Bay, the tight end's out, right? Their go-to tight end. And one of the wide receivers may be out. Look at your injury. Make sure that they're going to play. But in that case, Love, not generally a runner. So it's going to be either the running back or one of the 3 wide receivers. So you can add Love and the Green Bay defense, or add Love and any other Green Bay player, and that only takes you to 5. And then of course you want to match it 5 on the other side for Chicago. Again, I would take Monangai and Swift. You have to, because Chicago runs it so much. But Odunze, the wide receiver, is out. So that gives you even more opportunity that, well, who's it? Okay, I would add Caleb Williams. So let me just tell you right here, I would do Caleb Williams, and then I would do, so Swift, again, the running back, Swift and Monangai. Loveland, the tight end, obviously. I do DJ Moore, that's your wide receiver, and I would do Caleb Williams. And then Cole Kmet, if he's going to play at plus 1700, is the other tight end. And there you go. There's your 5. So now, but anyway, why I'm going this route? So we're going to show you a betting slip for the same thing. So in the Philly Washington game, we're showing you a Jahan Dotson first score. And again, low end DeAndre Swift at only plus 650. He's the most likely first score because he's the running back. But even then, with $5, with the 2 first scores, for $5, you're going to get a return of $2,826. So that is better than 100 to 1. It's like 500, over 500 to 1. And that's exactly what you're looking for. It's actually 565 and change to 1. So boom, there you go for $5. Now again, you're going to have a bunch of them. So you're probably going to be totally invested in this scenario for probably like 100, 120 bucks. But one of them hits, again, your whole year is made with these. So, and they're not easy, but they're not that unlikely. Again, we told you guys last week with just one first score, we did 5 or 6. We cashed 5 of them, and I actually messed up because I knew KC with Mahomes, damn it, and I got sidetracked at the kiosk, and I never even inputted the KC game at all for first scoring, but I absolutely had Mahomes because he was a plus 2,000, and they don't have a running game, so he's their running game, and god dang it, he nailed it. But anyway, neither here nor there. So that's where we are, guys. So again, mix and match your first 2 scores, take 5 or 6 on each side of the same matchup, so like Washington and Philly, take 5 or 6 from each side, and instead of that's one game, and then use the second game, Chicago and Green Bay, and add one of those first scores. So you have 2 first scores and your 4 power moves, Buffalo, Detroit, Houston, and San Fran, and those 4 will come through for you. And then you just need, and it makes all these games exciting. That's what's fun. And for $5, man, you can win your whole Christmas shopping covered. Okay, enough of that. We also have for you a bunch of information. So second thing that we need to take care of today is this week is very juicy for money line parlays. Again, these are not official picks from us. We're teaching you how to stretch $5 or $10 into a windfall. And so you can even go $1. The round robin that we taught you guys. I do round robins by 2s, 3s, and 4s. It gets a little pricey, but I do the 2s, but so any 2 teams hit, you get paid for every 2-team combo that hits, right, on the round robin. We do it at $5 a piece on the 2s. The 3s and the 4s, we do it for $1, $2, or $3, depending on how many combos there are. The machine will tell you, or your phone will tell you. But here's the picks. Again, if you can afford it, I would take almost all the dogs across the board. That any dogs under 7 points, really, except probably Pittsburgh, I wouldn't take them over Detroit. But even then, if you can afford it, because you never know, right? For instance, we would not take Raiders at money line to win the game against Houston. Absolutely not. But anyway, I'll give you the teams that I'm putting on my round robin money line parlay this week. And you can squeeze in there some favorites, meaning the favorites don't have to cover the point spread, just win outright. And in a couple cases, and it actually helps because there's so many teams, it would help you. But anyway, let me give you the rundown. The Chargers, the Giants. So the Chargers, when I did this, and it could be a little off right now from where it's at, but when I did this, I was doing the research last night and wrote down the numbers I had last night. So there might be a little bit of a change on it. But anyway, we like the Chargers plus the 108. We like the Giants plus 128. We like Carolina plus 130. Now, mind you, real quick, I may be where I'm telling you to take both sides, right? Because again, this is a money line parlay. So even though one of our picks may be the other team, keep in mind this is smaller coffee money. but it's money line parlays, and we're looking to maximize the payouts. So that's where it may conflict. So don't get confused. Seasoned gamblers, you guys know what I'm talking about. But for you new guys who have just joined us and you guys are new to the betting process, when we give you a pick, we're giving you the pick with the line, or we explain to you how to bet it. But in the money line parlays, it's just maximizing your return, okay? Again, the Chargers plus 108, the Giants plus 128, Carolina plus 138. Because I honestly, so for example, on that game, that specific game, Carolina, we think that Tampa, we don't know if they cover, but we think our model shows Tampa winning. But I'm still betting Carolina on the money line parlay because it's a plus 138, and it's just one of many things that need to happen. So, and you're getting them by 2s, 3s, and 4s, so you're more than covered. Arizona plus 128, New England Patriots plus 130. I love Denver at home to win the game, but Jacksonville plus 144 if you can afford it. So let me go back. So I like these 5. Chargers, Giants, Carolina, Arizona, and New England. That's my minimum 5 I want. If I can't afford anything else, I want those 5, and I want to play them by 2s, 3s, and 4s. Not very expensive, because there's only 5 4s at $2 a piece. That's $10. The 3s, I think there might be 15 3s if I'm not mistaken. But again, 15 3s at $2 a piece, that's $30. And by 2s, there's like 10 2s. So I do 5, that's $50, because that's the most likely where you're going to match a bunch of different 2s. If 3 teams win, you got 3 2s at least, right? Is it 3 2s or 6 2s? Anyway, so you only need 2 teams to win to get paid. And that's why I put the 5, but a little bit more to pay for everything. If you hit a 3, believe me, it's everything is paid for in this. So there's that. Now, if you're blessed and you can afford it, I would fold these next 4 teams in. Now you end up with a 9-teamer round robin. That gets a little pricey. But again, don't go beyond 4s. Do 2s, 3s, and 4s. If you got them, like, you can really afford it, I guess you could do 5s. I stick to reality, so by 2s, 3s, and 4s. So the other 4 teams I would fold in are Jacksonville plus the 144, Tennessee plus the 152. Now the next 2, I don't like these. I actually would go the other way and take the favorites. But again, I'm giving you the information. You do with it what you want. Miami plus the 118 and the Jets plus 176. I personally would rather do Cincinnati against Miami on the money line, just needing to win outright because the minus is not too big. And I would take New Orleans at the money minus over the Jets. New Orleans at home finishing out strong with Tyler Shook. Again, though, 9-teamer gets a little bit more pricey. That's why I told you those 5 are the ones I'm going with. I can't afford to fold in Jacksonville, Tennessee, Miami, and the Jets. If I had to pick one more to fold in and do a 6, I would absolutely take Tennessee. I love Tennessee to win outright against Kansas City, and we'll get to that in a little bit too. All right, so stay with me thus far, guys. The final thing I've got for you guys is 5 picks, 5 major picks. Now, a couple of these are what the line is, but remember, we teach you guys. So, again, yesterday, if you've been following us since week 1, congratulations on Thursday, because either way you went, you won. Because what did we teach you from day 1? Always buy back the points. So the line early was Seattle plus 1 or plus 1.5. You could have then got it at Seattle plus the 2 more points, so plus 3.5. When it switched, when it flipped late in the week and game time last night to Seattle giving 1.5, you could have taken hedged it and took in the Rams plus the 1.5 and bought back the 2 more points at plus 3.5. Even if you didn't buy points and you would have taken Seattle plus the 1 or 1.5 and then the Rams plus the 1 or 1.5, we've taught you guys how to hedge in middle, and we've also taught you guys how to buy back points, and so you literally would have won both. So congratulations, and that's what we've been teaching you guys since day 1. All right, so even without giving you a pick on Thursday, we gave you both winners in teaching you how and what to do with the lines. All right, getting to this week's 5. We've got Chicago. Go Bears. MM. Let the magic release. We got, inside joke there, guys. We've got Chicago, but we want you to take it at the money line. The -1.5 is -110. The money line is -125. I'm happy to pay the 125 and not give any points. So I got to lay 125 to get my 100. I'm happy to do that versus 110, but I'm laying 1.5 points because 21-20 kills me, and I'm going to be kicking myself because we think the game is going to be a tight one like yesterday. So we like Chicago at home. We think Chicago is one, they are more legit than people are giving them credit for. 2, Green Bay is reeling with the loss of Micah Parsons. They traded away their other great run stopper defensive to Dallas. Christian Watson may not play. We already know their starting tight end Kraft has been out IR for the year. They're just getting punched left and right with injuries and other things. Plus, the way they lost that game last week, when people said, "Well, Denver was on their way to losing." Maybe not, but losing that game, losing Micah, and losing that game, and the way everything flowed in that game, the human aspect, they have got to be reeling. Now, if they rally together, rise up, and win and beat Chicago, then we tip our cap to them. But all things being equal, we like that Chicago's looking at this going, this is their chance to, like Darnold getting the monkey off his back on Thursday with the Rams. This is Chicago's moment to get the monkey off their back and finally beat Green Bay in regular season, and finally show Big Brother that Little Brother is here to stay and play now. So Chicago money line, not minus the 1.5, but money line. Cincinnati Bengals. If you were lucky enough to get it when it was -1 or 1.5 early, Miami's going to be starting their 3rd string quarterback. Tua is actually their emergency quarterback. That tells you everything you need to know, that they're playing for a better draft choice using the guise of they're finding out what they have in this kid that they got. So we don't know what he's going to bring to the table, but we know one thing. We know he's not as good as Burrow, and he's not as seasoned as Burrow. And we think that Burrow wants to finish out this season on a high note. And you've got Chase Brown, Jamar Chase. Even if T. Higgins doesn't play, we just don't see it. But here what we do see. So the line right now, as we speak, is Cincinnati -4. We want you to buy back 1.5 and lay 2.5 in case it gets down to a tight field goal. So Cincinnati -2.5 is our official line for the pick. So buy back the 1.5, which we know you can do everywhere. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, the Detroit Lions. So this one, I have 6.5. I've seen 6.5 at various books, but some places are 7. If it's 7, I guess you can go ahead and lay the 7 and hope not tie. We think that it's going to be, Lions by at least 10, but we hate if it lands right on 7, that all of that, and you just to tie. So we always suggest with key numbers like 3, 4, 7, that you buy back 0.5 point. Always. We don't expect you to buy back the whole 2 because then it gets expensive, or you got to put way much more up to win that 100, or you win much less because of what you have to afford to put up. But in the case of the Lions, we would suggest that you take it to 6.5. So, but there are official lines still at 6.5. So it shouldn't cost you anything if you're lucky. If you're not, we suggest you buy back 0.5 point. But our official pick line is 6.5 on the Lions. So we got Chicago money line. We got Cincy -2.5. We got the Lions at 6.5 giving. Cincy is also giving. And fourth, our one dog of the week is Tennessee Titans against the Kansas City Chiefs. Long story short, we think that Kansas City is done. We think they've got 4 or 5 starters on the defense that are out. We know that obviously Mahomes isn't playing. Look, they weren't very good this year and maximizing this year with Mahomes. So even though we're Gardner Minshew fans with the mustache, he's from Washington State, but the Cougars. But all that being said, we don't see how they get better with Minshew over Mahomes. One. Number two, Tennessee has played a really tough schedule, and they've played a lot of playoff teams and kept it tight. They backdoored to Seattle. I believe they're like 4-1 the last 5 against the spread. We like Tennessee. Now, here's the thing. Tennessee, again, we know that it was at 4.5. Right now, I've seen 4 and 3.5. We're suggesting that you buy back enough, whether it's a point or half a point, to get it back to 4.5 in case of a 14-10 scenario. We want you to have the 4.5. So our official, when we do the review next week or the wrap-up, we're going to count it a win at 4.5. So make sure that you get Tennessee at 4.5. Now, if you parlay these, again, you can parlay these and buy back the points on the kiosk, and they got the pull-down menu, and it'll let you buy back up to 2 points in most places so that we've ever seen. So you're good to go there. Parlays or straight bets, either way. And again, on the Tennessee one, we would even sprinkle a little bit on the money line, because like we told you with the money line parlay, the 5 I gave you, the Chargers, Giants, Carolina, Arizona, and New England, I'm adding in a 6 team of Tennessee 100% absolutely. That's my 6 for the money line parlay, the coffee money stuff. And our final 5th pick of this weekend is a Monday night game. Monday night, one of our rare Monday nights. We're doing it. We're taking San Fran. We want you to buy back 1.5 points. We think it's going to be going away San Fran by 13 to 17 points. But just in case Old Man Rivers shows up and does the same, again, he's a smart guy. He protects the ball. Their offense is good. They've got a running game. San Francisco's defense is, a shell of what they were at the beginning of the year. So many injuries. They're injury ravaged. We think that this could turn into something of a shootout, is the way we see it playing out. But in any event, whether it's a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game, a shootout or a slugfest, we think that Rivers will dink and dunk with Jonathan Taylor running. This team is more than capable, even with all the secondary defensive guys out for Indianapolis. We think that their defense plays well enough to keep it or could keep it close. And so we're suggesting that there's a scenario where, again, we think it's 13 to 17, but we see a path, I should say, a scenario where they could keep it close. And so 5.5 is kind of a dead number. We don't want you getting caught with your pants down. So again, buy back the 1.5. If you can get it down to 3.5, good for you. But I would take it down to 4 at least, because 4 is a key number. And in a case with the parlay or straight bet or whatever, a better a tie than a loss, right? If you get it down to 3.5, go for it. But we think getting it down to 4 is key. But again, I personally would take it down to 3.5. But we're drawing the line as the official number at 4 because we think that they easily cover the 4. So again, Chicago money line, Cincy minus 2.5, San Fran minus 4, Lions minus 6.5, and Tennessee plus 4.5, and a little bit on the money line. Sprinkle a little bit of that $50 or $100 on the money line, and don't forget the money line parlay for $5 or $10. Do your round robin if you can afford it. And again, the power teams with the 2 first scores, that will get you the lotto win. And hopefully you're going into Christmas cashing out like we did last week, and we get this ball rolling. And again, guys, like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us and follow on our Instagram. I put out a bunch of messages yesterday during the Seahawks game because I was losing my mind over the referees. But in any event, we're going to be teaching you guys off season. After the playoffs and Super Bowl, we head to Vegas in the off season to do the exactas every year. and we are going to be helping you and teaching you and honing in and dialing in what to bet and how to bet it, and so you can get a bunch of $5 or $10 bets that could turn into thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for a very small investment. Like we'll show you this year, I've got a bunch of tickets still alive because we had all of our long shots this year. We had the Patriots on the AFC side again. We had Cincinnati, we were wrong. We had Cincinnati, but the ones that we have live and well, Denver, the Patriots, and Pittsburgh. And we, even though we didn't like Baltimore, we do have Baltimore to win the AFC and the Super Bowl on just a straight ticket for a few hundred on a small bet. When it got bad and when they were 1-5, we went in and offset that. On the NFC side, we have the Seahawks, we have the Rams, we had Minnesota, which we were wrong. Obviously, they're not in the playoffs anymore. But we also, and we had the Chargers on the AFC side too, by the way. But on the NFC, we've got Tampa, we've got the Rams, we've got the Seahawks, and and AFC we've got Buffalo, and the NFC we've got Green Bay. So we have like half the NFC field still alive and half the AFC field still alive. And right now, as it sits with 3 weeks to go, a lot of the tickets we have the number one, the higher seeds and the higher power ranks. Like even though the Rams have dropped now to the 5 seed, they are still the most highly power ranked team in the playoffs, and we have them as one of our teams going in. So again, we'll get you guys there for next year if you follow and stay with us in the off season. Not to mention, we'll take you through the draft and we'll have some fun information, and we'll be doing some basically daily kind of show type of thing 2 or 3 times a week, giving you as much info as you can. And again, just because you love my voice and you guys can put it on, do your dishes, do your laundry, mow the lawn, do whatever, do some yard work, but keep me running and learn a few things, and we can talk about some sports and have a good time. And next year, as we start rolling, we'll all be together on the same page. I know I was new this year, and we knew that it would take a while to get rolling, but now that we've got a little bit of a following here, we want to make sure that you guys are well taken care of. All right? So, sorry, no famous saying this week, as it were, but man, the Seahawks game just got us to that next level, and we're still on a high from the way that game went, and we couldn't be happier. I will tell you guys, wrapping it up, there were so many things that had to happen. There was one point in the game that there was in the fourth quarter, there was a less than 3% chance that the Seahawks could win that game according to analytics. And there was a stat where it showed the Seahawks in that very position, down I guess by 14, are 0-172 or 174 historically in the NFL. And the Rams in that same position, up 14, fourth quarter, blah, 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 are 300 and something wins and 1 loss. Well, now they're 300 and something and 2 losses, and the Seahawks are now 1-172 or 174. I forget what the number is, but again, that's why you love this game, because you never know, and you're never out of it till you're out of it. And for all the Seahawks fans that started to leave to beat the traffic when it was 30-14 before, when Darnold threw that interception in the red zone, shame on you. That's what you guys get. You guys missed the greatest game since the NFC Championship against Green Bay, where Russell threw 4 interceptions and Doug Baldwin fumbled for 5 turnovers total, and we came back to win that game. So always be a believer. When you're a Seahawks fan, you gotta believe, because the magic is there. All right, so we'll see you guys. Again, we said going into this, because the Saturday game is Chicago. Don't forget, that's why we're doing this tonight and early, because one of our 5 picks is Chicago, and it's a Saturday game. So get on it. Good luck. May you guys have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We'll see you guys early next week with our wrap-up. Mele Kalikimaka and Ahoy Makahiki Ho, which is Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, and Mahalo. Aloha. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week early. Peace out.